All right, everybody, we are going into game two. If I hit play, so V3 striking fast with a game one victory. I liked Crest Gaming Axe team comp. I liked the idea behind it. Get some globals, Grand Starfall from Pantheon, Requiem, all that cool stuff. And then Olaf came through and destroyed that all. So I don't expect Crest Gaming Axe to go with that composition again here. Maybe go back to some comfort now that they know what they're up against here. But for starters, banning out those troublesome supports. Crest Gaming Act does not want Vivid having that Tom Kench. One of his most comfortable supports here, one of his most played. Right behind that being his Braum, but that Rakan, Vivid tore it up on Rakan. He was very aggressive with his vision placements, always comfortable with getting in and out where he needed to be. In last game, also heavy vision one, able to keep track of Karthus relatively well, except for earlier parts of the game. Ooh, Crest Gaming Act actually banning the Karthus. Interesting. Maybe that is something that they're more worried of Baby playing than anything, because Karthus has played some Karthus games in the past, so maybe that was just a simple takeaway that they were more concerned of as far as the scrims go. I mean, last game we did see the Gragas ban. I think I would like to see that jump up in priority, especially with the Skarner getting taken off the table, so junglers are slowly getting picked away at. I think that's going to be pretty important for Crest Gaming Act to go ahead and pick up. V3, I'm sure, would be interested in getting an Aatrox first rotation here as a first pick. Get that safety in the top lane for Nap. Set him up nicely. Or, I mean, Paz, I'm sorry. Steal that away from Crest Gaming Act. But instead, it looks like it might be the Silas to go ahead and say, hey, we're going to get this. We can go ahead and flex it. Maybe towards the mid or top, give us some flexibility. Also, if you want to pick Sejuani, if you want to go for that tankier jungler that Mecha plays typically, we're going to go ahead and steal that ultimate from you. But as the bottom lane has shifted around, looks like Xayah just jumping in that priority, expecting Rakan may not get picked up here, might wait for that second round pick for Luna to grab here, just so that they can be sure they lock something in. I'm expecting the Aatrox here, but ooh, is it going to be Hachimecha? Nope, that is it. Sure enough. The Aatrox coming on in. Make sure that Nap is nice and comfortable on that Aatrox that he knows and loves. And has done quite well on. He does have a positive win rate on that champion. Looks like a 60%, 60%. Yeah, win rate on that champion over the split on over 5 games. So respectable win rate. Ooh, V3 getting Itorimash getting the Ezreal that he has been dominating on. He's played that champion 8 times this split, has a very high win rate, been very successful. And we do see the Camille as an answer to the Aatrox. Champion Pass is comfortable with as well. Taking that in, we do see that typically that Camille can hold herself up against relatively well against the Aatrox. Kind of keep him in lane, a nice point of engagement, especially against champions like the Xayah to jump on that back line so that she can't just like jump out with her ultimate and try and get away from you. But Karma, so we do have a little bit of flexibility with the Crest Gaming Axe comp now by picking up that Karma. Can always go for the support where we're not really traditionally seeing that. What right now that means that it could go to the top, it could go mid. I'm expecting mid lane just because of Nap's priority for the Aatrox, but we have seen them get swapped around here and there. But expecting the Silas mid, Camille top sort of matchup, that traditional setup here. So seeing some support band out. There's that Gragas taken off the table once again. V3 don't want to deal with that. They do not want to let Crest Gaming at first pick rotate that up. Want to sort of push Hachimecha down his champion pool a little bit. Maybe see if they can get that Sejuani. That dynamic is so interesting as far as like the Silas getting picked up. I mean, you do kind of, while Sejuani is a great champion, even though she had received nerfs this patch, she still offers a significant tank line, and her ultimate is so phenomenal that even if somebody can copy it, if you're the first to start that fight off, if you're able to get that Glacial Prison off first, you can secure yourself a big fight. So, man, 3 bans against Vivid with the Morgana, the Braum, the Tom Kench. I'm wondering what support's actually going to come in. That Morgana one, actually a little bit of a surprise to me. They probably got something cooking up as far as who directly go ahead and deal with that. So, hovering the Nocturne. I don't think that's it. At least I don't quite like that would be it. Ooh, but the Mundo, who did receive some buffs and has become a monster in the jungle. Mundo coming on in. He got some major buffs. Was it on 916? I thought it was 917. Oh, no, it was actually 916. Okay, fantastic. So he does his W, the tenacity, 30% at all ranks increased, and E, the masochism. His E does so much work for people. Like, do not underestimate the damage that comes out of the E. It's lower cooldown now at max level. That's where people usually get it wrong. It's like you should really be putting your damage into the E, really expecting that to be going into the jungle. Just farm rapidly, a lot of damage. I mean, the Qs, a lot of damage there. You know, sure, it heals you, but there's so much raw damage that comes out of the E. Phenomenal stuff. So, Vivid going to be going with the Alistair, and the Kiana picked up for Ace, I imagine. Whoa, actually, what is going on? Where is this? So, is that going to be a Camille jungle, actually, for Baby? Is what must be happening here. I have to see where these champions get swapped out. I don't expect... I mean, it could be Kiana jungle. And Crest Gaming Act got to make a decision. They're going to go with that mid lane control from the Talia. Should be a relatively strong lane into the Kiana. Can go ahead and drop out that worked ground. Make sure shuffle things up and stuff so that if Kiana does dash into the Talia, the unraveled earth, we'll be able to pick up some damage. Something like, think of it as a Yasuo I always used to, back in the day when Talia was much more prevalent. If there's ever a Yasuo, I'd like to pick her, Talia, into the mid lane, use that Unraveled Earth, because all those champions that dash around, Unraveled Earth ends up doing quite a bit of damage over time, and starts punching through those squishier assassin targets. So excited to see that. So the Karma in the bottom lane here. Jungle Silas top, Camille. So V3 getting a little spicy with their picks here, with putting the Silas in the jungle. Not unheard of, really. Honestly, any of those 3 champions from Paz Baby Ace could have been intermingled there with relative ease. But Crest Gaming Act, a pretty scary front line there if that gets rolling. I mean, you don't have, again, there's not a lot of great pure engaged. You can, of course, go ahead and send out the Weaver's Wall and sort of lock somebody out and then speed up those targets with Karma. Use that empowered shield of hers, the Inspire. Speed all those targets up, lock them off with the Weaver's Wall. Mundo's going to chase you down. Aatrox's going to chase you down nice and easy. So some clever ways of engage on Crest Gaming Act that I really like. I mean, look on the side of V3, they of course have the obvious Hextech Ultimatum for Camille to just jump on in onto any target on the back line. But thinking of jumping into the back line against a Mundo to go ahead and shred you up is a little scary, I'd say. Or to see Crest Gaming Act sort of flexing their muscles, working their way into the jungle, using their early power here, force their way in. Vivid getting a little too, ooh, I don't think you should have gone over there. You knew that they invaded. V3 getting very low. Ended up using the flash as well. And Crest Gaming Act netting themselves a kill. I mean, you saw them work their way in the jungle. You should have just forfeited over. Say, hey, that's that. I guess you may have thought they backed off. But, I mean, if you're that curious, put a ward over the wall. I mean, you can do that from red. It's pretty easy, so... Man, they are really interested in getting this red buff for Baby. They're really concerned. Uh-oh, please don't just make this a repeat. Please just don't walk over there. I mean, Crest Gaming Act, they're going to commit to this. because they've got the vision. Like, just put a ward over the bush, guys. Come on. All right, red buff getting low. Is it going to be in smite range? It's still out of smite range. Crest Gaming Act pulling the trigger right when they needed to. Oh, very close. Baby does end up picking it up. Hits the level 2. So now maybe Crest Gaming Act are in a little bit of a weird position. Instead, going to just back on out here. And this is actually going to put Baby in a pretty decent spot, although did kind of ruffle his feathers a little bit. He should be ahead of the curve on the farm game here. I have to see how this transitions, where the timing for Mundo ends up being. Is Baby actually working his way around? Going to do a full bottom clear of the jungle. And maybe look to see if he can go bottom, because Mundo's going to be behind the curve. He could be a clear camp behind. I think Mundo generally has a little bit of tough time clearing just because he isn't not a mana-dependent champion. Very heavily reliant on the HP. So he does get very low, as we're seeing here. So he is not going to be able to come into support versus Baby, who's relatively healthy right now. I'm not sure how many things he's got on the refillable potion, but want to see if he makes his move. We do see Baby moving on over. He's sitting at pretty half healthy here. Now, Alistair does not have flash. Hex Flash is working its way up. It's almost there. I'm not sure if he's going to try working his way in the bush, but this is kind of a hard lane to approach because Crest Gaming Act, they are a clear level up now. Level 2 coming on in. Baby being very patient here. We see Vivid going on in with a headbutt. Now Baby coming around the corner. The Ignite drop down on Art, but Baby getting very, very low. Art still moving on in. Kill does get over to Art. Yuramashi, though, in a lot of minions, taking a lot of damage. Able to secure the kill, but Baby falling in the end. I think all that minion damage going on in. Lack of flash really end up hurting V3 so that it can't just like flash, knock up, headbutt a target back. Instead had to go for the headbutt pulverize combo just outright. Let's go ahead and see that again. I don't think he used, I mean, it would have been, oh, he actually did do the Hex Flash. Okay, so, oh, nice. I do like that a lot, actually. Because he didn't have access to the flash. He just did the Hex Flash from a little bit ways away. So the red buff, let's see, transfer over to the Alistair. So a nice refresh there. But I think that advantage still goes to Crest Gaming Act. I mean, the kill did end up on the Xayah. So unfortunate. Tua sits over to the Karma here. And it also gave Hachimecha the chance to sort of catch up on that CS. So I have to... Fortunately, that didn't net a lot. Baby just spent so much time bottom side. I appreciate the effort going towards that bottom side, but when you're in that bottom lane with Ezreal, when you're just saying, hey, you know you're going to lose this lane, just sustain through, I don't think that's a kill lane. The Karma and Xayah have more damage on you, I think, at those earlier levels. I mean, through quite a bit of the part, you got to let that Ezreal scale up. Maybe something like the mid would have been an easier lane to approach. It's hard for me to say. But Vivid going on in, trying to lock up Art, get that damage in, use that red buff to the best of his ability. Torimash doing some nice damage there. Not afraid to get a little bit aggressive with that Ezreal. And that's actually nice to see. That makes me excited that we have a player from the LJL that has become so proficient on Ezreal. It's kind of become his mainstay champion. Sort of acting as like a... kind of demonstrating a certain level of benchmark, I would say, because sometimes you go to Worlds, I think in previous years, I think more specifically maybe when SKT was, who was it? It was some top laner, I mean Duke, the one before Duke, goodness gracious, can't remember the name. But he was exceptionally monstrous, maybe on champions like Fiora, had like a deep champion pool of aggressive top laners. And a lot of top laners coming from the West didn't really demonstrate an aptitude for that. And you do see that sometimes with, say, maybe a Lee Sin and Ezreal, these more high-skill-based champions that a lot of these Asian countries pulled out with a lot of success. Now we're starting to see that more globally, starting to reach that out. And I think Ezreal sort of fits in that pool a little bit. Yes, he has an air of safety behind him. There is that essence of, oh, you're playing Ezreal, going to be pushed into the turret for ever, eons to come, waiting for that tier to get stacked and maybe get get 2.5 items before we want to fight or anything like that. But turning in Ezreal and making it into a champion that is aggressive, like looking at Uzi's games on Ezreal where he becomes so dominant in lane, I think even Doublelift might be stepping up to that standard, as we saw him in the Cloud9 finals, in the finals against Cloud9, and playing Ezreal, doing exceptionally well. So these laners just stepping up on their skill level of these champions are typically considered harder. I mean, an Ezreal who's so reliant on hitting every Q that he needs to, keeping that damage pumped up, it's pretty important for such thing going on. Ooh, a lot of damage burst traded on both sides. Ace trying to have to get out of there. Mundo on the backside, but underestimating the damage that was going to come out from the Taliyah. That seismic shove from the Unraveled Earth. I thought Ace had the better trade there. I was like, oh, Unraveled Earth didn't come out fast enough. And then Luna just falling up very easily. Ace not having any dashes left. So that's the threat that you're looking at. Luna actually taking the far better end of that trade. And how that should look. And this, hopefully, if, as far as Crest Gaming Echoes, if Luna can keep Ace in the lane, should be relatively easy. We even see that Corrupting Potion on the Taliyah to sort of sustain that mana pool. A blue buff going over right now. I see a question mark ping. Maybe I'm guessing the threaded volley he was thrown over there to make sure that nobody was coming over to steal. Maybe. I mean, you get the buff timers on junglers, you know. Maybe that's what was going on. Anyways, blue buff over to the Taliyah, so going to keep sustaining through that lane, keep Qiyana in that lane, which Crest Gaming Act needs so desperately. Of course, Taliyah can go ahead and chase down a lane very easily with the Weaver's Wall. Go ahead and hunt down the Qiyana if need be. But if you can keep him in lane, that kind of denies him altogether, and that allows you to scale up. You've got a little bit of a better scaling team on your side. I mean, the Mundo becomes this unkillable, monstrous threat. Taking some damage there. So Baby visiting the mid lane. Ooh, leaning too far to the right of the river there. Forcing a flash out of Luna. Looked like that was going to be a stun there from the Qiyana. Able to stack that up for herself. For the Elemental Wrath to induce that. So nice fast flash out of Luna. Unfortunate that he leaned a little bit to the right. I guess the jungler was just over there. But Mundo is monstrous of a force as he is, kind of takes him a little bit of time to get running around the map. His gank path is pretty straightforward. I mean, you see here he's walking through the lane right now. Going to get some support from the Carmen to just sort of chase down at a target. Crest Gaming Act going to get pincered here. 2 members coming on down. This is not the fight that you were looking for. There's a lot of members missing on Vivid, but Art's going to flash forward, get the kill onto the Alistair. Now Baby's looking low. Nat pulls the trigger and teleports on down. Another kill going over. Baby taken down. Ace going to have to flash out of there, but Hachimecha is on the chase here. Going to be throwing cleavers. I think Ace should be able to get out of here. It's going to be very close. No flash is available right now, but Ace dashing desperately for life. But still not done. Crest Gaming Act still going for it. Yuzuru Miyash going to get locked up here. Oh, nearly. There comes the True Shot Barrage, taking Art very low, so they're going to have to get out of this lane. But they do get a turret plate for themselves and 2 kills as well. So, looked like V3 were going to get the advantage in that fight, but maybe they acted a little bit too slowly. Oh, Anya Momo getting very low there. Mash trying to nail the Qs. Art, though, some nice dancing shoes on, able to dodge that out, and all that nonsense is going on in the bottom lane. That's a Cloud Drake for Crest Gaming Act, which is, I mean, we talked about it in the last game. Olaf, one of those champions that you don't want, although Mundo's one that you don't think about too often because he's only coming back into the swing of things. He's another guy you don't want to have a Cloud Drake. He's going to keep chasing you down, and that is not good for anybody. He'll be able to get around those map a little bit faster. You've seen how these had these scuffles so far that he hasn't been able to be a part of, but Cloud Drake's going to help him get there a little bit faster, able to actually help out his team. So Crest Gaming actually baiting this overall. They it looked like a bad position for them, but waiting for V3 to overcommit a little too hard. That Alistair not tanky just yet. I mean, this is sort of what Crest Gaming Act were looking for. Let V3 think. I mean, overall, maybe not exactly what I thought they were looking for, but like make V3 think they're in a good spot. Let them roam, but we know where you are. You think let you waste your skills, mess up here a little bit, then we're going to go ahead, react to that, send Luna down, Weaver's Wall over to where you were heading with your Assassin-esque champions here. But a little poke coming still out in a Yotori Mash. A little bit of a CS discrepancy in the bottom side, but it's not substantial enough just yet. Did have a plate taken down, but with only 2 minutes left of plates, I would say that V3 has done well to help themselves get through that laning phase. Junglers in mid all hanging out mid lane, trying to see if anything funny happens. Rift Herald would like to see these teams trying to set up for this Rift Herald a little bit earlier. Seeing these bottom lanes on the move. Are we going to get a little bit of some action here? Adeomomo being patient, getting that vision. Making sure that nobody just runs in and kills themselves. With all that pressure bottom lane with that Sylas and Alistair cut out bottom. With Hachimeka and Nap top side, they're going to go ahead, pull the trigger, get that Rift Herald. Which is important at this juncture. You really want to, by the time Rift Herald spawns at 10 minutes, you really want to get it before 14 minutes before all those plates are dropped. That's why a lot of, I think more specifically than any other team right now, or at least easiest to remember, Aatrox, did you forget? I think Nap was already shopping there and was like, wait, why can't I buy anything? What's going on? Oh, my recall got canceled. Okay. Clutch Gaming, they became a little notorious during their playoff run. At 10 minutes, they would send Vulcan, their support, send him right back a little bit, 30 seconds, 45 seconds before, about 10 minutes before Rift Herald spawn. Send the Vulcan on over. Cody Sun would follow a little shortly behind, about a few seconds later, go ahead and see the state of the map, see if they needed the AD carry to go over there, pick up the Rift Herald. Ooh, the Weaver's Wall. Is it going to block him or does he still go through? Okay, still goes through. All right, I was going to be like, yo, that is so cheesy. But does get the plates, gets that turret very, very low. So nearly all those plates secured for Crest Gaming Act there in the mid lane, only one to go. Has doing some work, though, on top side. Art, go ahead and shifting up there. Got 3 plates there, I think. Or in total, just barely before that plating fell. But the gold difference is actually not that substantial right now. We can go ahead and look at that CS differences here. It looks like a majority of it might be coming from the top side. But I guess plating's equalized across the board here just a little bit. As the laners are sort of swapping out here, Alistair and Ezreal still on the bottom side. Expecting Crest Gaming Act to make this dive happen onto the Camille here, but Crest Gaming Act answering in time as well, as both these mid laners are roaming around, letting the minions sort of kill each other. Crest Gaming Act very interested in getting this turret, but giving V3 the chance to go ahead and get this done. True Shot Barrage comes in, doesn't hit any targets, but going to push off Crest Gaming Act from that turret. So V3, they want to slow the pace of the game down just a little bit. They want to get picks here. They're in a kind of an awkward state of the game because they've got these Assassin-esque champions that want to blow up these targets, but the only target's going to be able to blow up later into the game. The Talia, Xayah is going to be difficult. I mean, with the shields of Karma and that front line of Aatrox, Mundo, V3's got a pretty tough team to sort of execute through. If they can find some picks, maybe fight over some of these neutral objectives, maybe a Cloud Drake. I mean, another Cloud Drake. How many Cloud Drake? We had 3 last game, and I think a Mountain Drake. I think that's what it was. I would like to see something else besides Cloud Drake. I mean, I keep speaking its praise, and maybe I'm probably, at this point, I'm like kind of selling it a little bit too hard because I want to see some other Drakes. Because it's like, listen, I could joke, I mean, everybody's got that predisposition to think that Cloud Drake's bad. Like, nobody wants to fight over a Cloud Drake. They want to fight over a Mountain or Infernal Drake. If we get that, maybe we can get some little bit more proactivity from these teams. Let them pull the trigger here. But as you can see, the Scuttle Crab over on for the side of V3 as they slowly work their way in, maybe thinking about keeping that vision clear because they don't want that Cloud Drake to go over. Because, I mean, hey, they experienced the love of having 3 Cloud Drakes. They don't want Crest Gaming Act to maybe get that that same luck, as it were. In that regard. So a lot of bouncing around lanes right now. Crest Gaming Act were able to get that top lane turret eventually. And it looks like focus is turned towards a Cloud Drake now. But it looks like it's turned into farm lanes. Paz going to be able to take this turret down. Nap not too excited about fighting the Camille. She's got that Trinity Force completed. Tiamat be very, very strong. Aatrox only having a Black Cleaver for his name. Hachimecha just casually doing this on his own, but the side of V3 interested in putting up a fight. Don't want to make it easy for them to take this. Paz does have teleport. You can see that he's sitting in base waiting to see if anything happens right now. He's just kind of hanging out, trying to hesitate and see if a fight is about to break out. Maybe going to make his way towards the Dragon Pit, force that teleport out of Nap, gaining an advantage in that way. But no, he's just going to work slowly through the jungle back up to this lane here. Would like to see where the Ezreal is on the tier. I expect it'll be finishing up here in about the next 3 to 4 minutes. If the usual has happened for these Ezreal players, or at least people stacking up their tier items. We can see that with Kiana having the Duskblade, can blow up a target pretty easily. Ooh, Yutori Mash getting some nice damage on Automate. Momo trying to get it out into Art. Doesn't get the stun out, or the root out onto the Ezreal, but forcing back with at least a phase shift. Nothing too crazy there. Luna catching out Baby. Baby getting very, very low. Luna going to clean this up. Ooh, nice trying to predict it with the seismic shove there. Appreciate that. But forcing the flash and getting the kill on a Baby that puts Crest Gaming Act in the driver's seat to get this dragon. But the teleport used by Aatrox, that feels like a little bit of a miscall. Maybe they thought some action was, maybe someone said, come, 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 and still felt a tad too slow there. So Crest Gaming Act get a second Cloud Drake for themselves, increasing the higher threat of their team comp to go ahead and answer these assassins that want to catch people out. In the favor of V3, they do have a teleport advantage now that I want to see them try and flex, maybe try and force their way into the jungle just a little bit. Paz is clearly has been the most successful on their team so far. Ooh, Crest Gaming Act just going to casually stroll on in as Mundo does what Mundo pleases and strolls on in and takes a turret. But Paz, I think, at this point, is someone that you can play through. He did just pick up the stopwatch. I think you need to keep using him to get that pressure on the side lane. That bottom lane turret's so healthy, as you can see Paz making his way towards that bottom side to probably try and clean up that turret against the Aatrox. But Camille can be this split push threat for them right now. I'm assuming that V3 would like to, at some point, swap to a 1-3-1, send any of their top, their Camille, Silas, or Kiana to a side lane at some point, and third with the Ezreal and Alistair. But Crest Gaming Act's like fighting force, it's a good team. The Talia really rounds it out for a nice team to just hunt down these champions and act quickly. But again, with this teleport advantage, I want to see V3 try and set something else, push for this vision. Vivid had done such a spectacular, the side of V3 as a whole did such a spectacular job on getting the vision. But Baby not having as successful as a game as he had in the previous game. Maybe it would have been a little bit better to get that Olaf, unless he was banned. I don't know if Skarner was. I got to look back at bans again. Should have wrote that down. My mistake. So we do have the Muramana completed for Ezreal. Going to be doing a lot more damage, has that Cutlass. So Ezreal hitting that point of where he's doing a lot of damage. Paz easily going to take this down. Now 3 champions over onto Nap. Hextech Ultimatum down onto Nap. There's not many options for him. But with that action going down on the bottom side, Crest Gaming Act pulling the trigger to go onto Baron. Vivid is over on his own. All these champions on the side of V3 so far away. Baron getting to about half health, forcing out the teleport from Paz. But Crest Gaming Act trying to act, but just not strong enough. Only passing over that 20-minute threshold. Weaver's Wall going to cut off V3 here. But V3 finally picking up a kill on the map. Able to take it down very, very quickly. And that kill going over to Kiana. So with the Duskblade and a T-Mat, I mean, Moby Boots, they're looking to hunt down targets. Like very, very quickly, very, very easily. I mean, Ezreal not even opting for a Trinity Force himself, going for that Iceborne Gauntlet to slow down those targets so that those assassins can jump onto them and take them out. Very easily. What I do want to talk about more, though, is like Baby just having that tough time. And you can look at the side of Crest Gaming Axe and think about what ultimate would you want to steal? It's not very practical to steal a lot of those. I mean, maybe you can, not even Featherstorm, Mundo, keep yourself healthy for an extra second because you're just going to die and explode. I mean, I guess you steal Weaver's Wall. Seems like the most logical thing to at least add some confusion, lock some targets down, prevent them from running away from your assassins. But that's about it. There's not a lot of good options. So it sort of feels like that first pick Sylas maybe kind of biting them in the end and not offering a lot of versatility in these matchups. As we see how this game unfolds, hopefully maybe V3 can strike back at this next Cloud Drake. Another 3 Cloud Drakes that I think V3 really need to make sure that Crest Gaming Act doesn't get. Because back on that point, 3 Cloud Drakes on any team is bad news. 3 Drakes of any type is bad news, but it is just rough stuff. The Cloud Drake, though, with that spawning, V3 actually have a nice lane to get in here because the pressure from Paz, there's not a lot of people on the side of Crest Gaming Act that can deal with him solely. So Paz is exerting so much pressure for the side of V3. You can see even V3 sort of setting up here. They do not have a lot of vision here. Want to probably use that Scrying Orb plant. That would have been nice. Maybe don't want to reveal that you're over there, but you can at least find out where their team's at. Paz working his way back onto the side of the jungle. This Cloud Drake getting very, very low. Zaya going to end up cleaning it up. Hachimecha in the front line. Fight kind of skirting around. Vivid going to maybe get caught out here. Hachimecha on the chase, forcing the flash out. Weaver's Wall coming out. Still no real chase happening, but Wall getting in very danger. Paz is going to be jumping in. Automayomo getting very, very low. Baby gets obliterated on the backside. Crest Gaming Act trying to turn this fight around. Paz jumping on out. A kill onto both sides. It's Baby getting taken down yet again. Such a squishy, easy target for them to take down. And Anemomo eventually falling in that fight as well. No kill secure other than that, but that must have been a close smite fight because I'm not sure if the smite was available for Hachimecha at the time, but already able to secure it with the blade collar. Goodness. Let's go ahead and see that again. So V3 posturing quite well. Trying to see where the smites come in. Oh, that was just so fast. So Art gets the sun on a Vivid. Paz just trying to find a way into the fight at some points. Finally, Crest Gaming Act sort of working their win. Looks like that on Weaver's Wall kind of maybe messed them up a little bit. Baby just getting smacked so hard. Just diving on in. Just not working out. This first pick Sylas really rearing its ugly head around. Being in the jungle, like, I appreciate the options that you have. It sounds like a cool comp. If you can get it rolling, it's great, but this Sylas not doing a lot of work right now. But even still, V3 actually do have the slightest gold advantage, even though Crest Gaming Act do have kills on their side. Must have been that shutdown. I'm trying to, or maybe the turret plating that really equalized things for them. If it doesn't have flash, going to pop that ultimate. Make sure he can't get slowed down or anything else happening to him. 26 minutes into the game, expecting Baron to be the next thing on everyone's mind. Essence Reaver and Phantom Dancer completed for Zaya. We'll have a decent time taking that Baron down. But what's really going to help it out is that Mundo, the percent health damage that he has ticking away. See this Baron getting chipped down slowly. Weaver's Wall used to keep people out of the fight. Aatrox, go ahead and going to teleport in. They're still on the Baron, not pulling the trigger just yet. Waiting for V3 to get close enough to act. Yutarimash forced to flash. Aatrox ultimate stolen, so just getting that stat bonus. Nap trying to chase on the backside. They do not know that he's on the flank now. They think he's on the internal part of the pit. Going on to pass. Nap's going to get locked down by the Hextech ultimatum, but Mecha onto Ace on the backside, locking people up. And going to be able to take down the Kiana. Still on the chase. Luna picking up a kill as well onto the Alistair on the other side of the wall. Torimash getting forced out. So 2 members down on V3. There still seem to be worried. Crest Gaming still more interested in fighting than going after the Baron objective. They don't want to hand anything over to this Crest Gaming team. Or to V3, I should say. Another True Shot Barrage coming on out. Do not get vision of that. Looks like Crest Gaming going to pull it. Nap, he did go have time to heal, and he's going to get another flank for himself. They did see him. Nap's just dancing around in the jungle. Crest Gaming Act, they don't have vision. You guys need to try and pull the trigger here. Ooh, Luna, so much damage. Gonna get the knockback onto Yurotamashi. Does not have flash currently. Phase shift already. Luna able to get the kill onto the Ezreal. Paz doing a lot of work onto the Camille, trying to do what he can to hold V3 into the game, getting the kill onto Luna. But it looks like Silas going to get taken down, and now it's just Paz out on his own, trying to get the kill. Does end up getting it onto the Mundo. Denies Crest Gaming Act from able to clean up that fight and go onto the Baron for themselves. Paz doing so much work for the side of V3. Keeping them in this game, making sure that they can stay alive. Just gracious. If all members of V3 had stopped there, it definitely would have been Baron, and the game would have likely closed out, but you can see that again. I mean, this Talia pick also being just such a pivotal pick as well. So you see the jump in onto Paz, Hachimeka just working out on Ace. Ace not trying her best to get past that wall of Mundo to get on one of those squishy targets, but just not able to. Luna doing work on the other side, you know, living it up. I mean, I say you just go for Baron here, though. I mean, I know you don't want him to get that mid lane turret, but... And I still think you just go for this. Send Nap in, act as that distracting force. I guess they're so worried about the 50-50. Luna just popping targets. Yutarimash already used flash. Taken out. We'll see Paz just nuking people here with that Trinity Force damage. Now picked up Executioner's Calling to try and make it a little bit easier for the Mundo even to take it down. But now we get a nice fun dragon. An Infernal going over to Crest Gaming Act. Ooh, sorry about the mic bump there. But 4th dragon going over to Crest Gaming Act. I think the game's pretty much followed the same trends here so far. 3 Cloud Drakes and then a different dragon. I think both teams securing 4 dragons before the game potentially ends. I'm still seeing Crest Gaming Act to take this game. However, their pressure on the objective of Baron, I feel like they could have pulled the trigger here a couple of times now and secured it, as they finally are going onto the Baron. Paz does have teleport. They are going to get vision on it through the True Shot Barrage. There's the Weaver's Wall to keep everybody out. They're going to dash over. Luna absorbing a lot of damage. Aatrox going to be able to secure the Baron. Baby out on his own. Assume that he's going to get blown up here pretty quickly. Termash doing a lot of damage. Paz on the backside. 2 very low-ended targets here. Paz going to be on the hunt for Art to try and get rid of that Baron. Crest Gaming Act, they got to funnel their way out of here. Paz going to take down another member of Crest Gaming Act. Only 3 Barons survive so far. Crest Gaming Act on the run, going through the jungle of V3, trying to split up, divide and conquer, I guess, and confuse. That increased Baron recall. Oh, and it gets canceled. Nap's going to be in some danger here. I imagine he is going to go down. Alistair is on the backside of the wall. That is an Iceborne Gauntlet. Ezreal, mind you, it's going to be taken down. Aatrox just too slow from that. It's only 2 Barons survive. And while all that is going on, Paz heads to the top side, teleports up there, secures a turret for himself. Paz, MVP of this game, doing so incredibly well. Nap getting put on the Aatrox that he's so comfortable with, that Crest Gaming opts to put him on so often, getting just totally thrashed by this Camille. This looked so good for Crest Gaming Act, and then just complete chaos kind of divulged after they secured the Baron. So we see Baby go in. They're all members of Crest Gaming Act all together. You're going to take out Baby really quickly. Luna almost falling, so no one's fallen just yet. But then here comes Paz coming on in. Luna going to get taken out. And so we just see everyone sort of spread out so randomly. I feel like if Hacha Mecha instead had supported the rest of his team, I'm not sure where he missed where he chased went, but I'm not sure even really how effective Crest Gaming Act's going to be able to use this Baron, how much gold they're going to be able to net. They do turn their eyes on the easiest objective on the map, that first tier turret bottom side that they should be able to secure, but I'm not sure how much more they will be able to get other than that. They do still have 2 Barons on their pocket, and we see them working their way in. Paz Hextech Ultimatum onto the Mundo, not afraid of all, because Paz does so much damage. Mundo cannot regen through that. Paz going to keep going. Art, what are you doing on your own? Going on in. Oh, no. Goodness gracious. Art not respecting the... Oh, goodness. The Camille at all. Thought you could... Maybe Mundo was going to survive just a little bit longer, but it doesn't matter. And this Baron play is going to be net negative for Crest Gaming Act. I mean, they've got 2 members dead. V3 might be able to just close this game out here. There's a little bit of time, but they're going to at least be able to get the inhibitor here and then just make their way out. And keep pressuring, it looks like. Aim towards top side. Mundo responding here in a moment, but the Zaya is still quite a bit away. And on the side of Crest Gaming Act, they do not have a lot of wave clear. So, all right, V3 going to back out here now. Go ahead and get out. No worries there. And the gold now in favor of V3 by about 2K. Hacha Mecha not like just so much disrespect for this Camille. Now you really understand just getting nuked. Want to see the damage charts. And Art completely by himself. I guess he was running on over and then Paz just pulled the trigger immediately, jumping over the wall like with the hook shot like. Oh, goodness. Oh, this... I understand now why the Camille was banned. I mean, sure, I understand that it's a counter to Aatrox typically, or at least considered a nice matchup into that, but not like this. This is a little too much. This feels like a mismatch of characters, maybe not a true representation of how this matchup's supposed to be. Expecting that Camille's going to be probably banned out for the remainder of this series. Crest Gaming Act want a chance in this. And Paz just having a run at the map. There's no one that can go ahead and face him right now and stop him. I mean, V3 is very spread out here. Vivid, ooh, in a very bad position. Nap going to go ahead and chase after Vivid. I imagine they're going to pincer on this. But while you're going after Alistair, who's one of the hardest targets to kill, extremely tanky, who's in your base? Paz is in your base. Guys, what's going on, V3? You're taking so much damage. Uturi Mash finally on the trigger, pulling on forward. Zaya going to be falling down from the Ace here. Uturi Mash still staying healthy, going to finally fall. But it looks like Paz going to be fighting Luna on the backside, but Luna has no hope of going ahead and going after this. That's going to be 2 members dead on the side of Crest Gaming Act, and Crest Gaming Act still on the hunt, trying to deal with the members of V3. Paz just going to close this game out on his own. He's got one. He's got an inhibitor. He killed a target on his own. He's going to go back in Hacha Mecha. That was like 1 Q. Completely obliterating. Here comes Nap for maybe the 1v3 that they need. Comes Baby, who's going to go ahead and help out. Maybe give him some time on the recall because he does still have GA, but he still has not died. We do have Baby who does now do a bit of damage. Oh, stuttering like crazy now. Baby going to go ahead and beat up on Nap. Maybe get taken down. So Aatrox does get the kill onto Silas. Nice to see that. Paz going to pick up a kill. This one-man army, as it were. So they get through the GA of the raid boss that is Paz. Is a level 18 Camille right now. Sure, we've got some level 17s. I don't think Nap is 18 yet. So this all started. I mean, sure, the Alistair, he's 5 levels lower than you. Looks like a nice target, but I mean, there's someone already in your base. You're not taking care of your side lanes. Crest Gaming Act, maybe so much tunnel vision on control of these dragons. And Ace finally getting the opportunity to dash in, go ahead and get himself a kill. He does die immediately, but gets rid of the damage threat, the main damage threat on the side of Crest Gaming Act. Crest Gaming Act, who had felt like they were in the driver's seat, it just slowly slipped away as they were not being decisive on their Baron calls and just allowing Paz to farm up. There's no one now that can deal with him. He just out damages everybody. Finishing that Mortal Reminder has Titanic Hydra, full build Camille, 7-1. I don't know what kills this target, because you still do not have a lot of armor on this Mundo yet. I mean, you've seen that 1Q does about a third of the Mundo's HP here. Is completely obliterated. So teleports both available on top laners here. Ocean Drake is on the table right now, but that is not the concern. Everybody's looking towards Baron. Game is creeping into the later parts as we do achieve full build slowly and slowly. A's going to dodge the seismic shove out a little bit, but Turimash pulling the trigger, going to be jumping forward onto Luna. Run out of abilities for now. Hachimecha now on the chase. Vivid out a little bit too far forward and going to be receiving a worse end of the damage, but he is quite the heavy tank. Does get the knock-up. Turimash trying to do what he can with the damage. But as you can see, while this is going on, Paz is still in the base. Going to lock him off Weaver's Wall. Baby's on the backside. Crest Gaming Act just trying to stall for time and give themselves an opportunity to go ahead and get back to the base to help out this Paz threat. All right, so all members there, it looks like, coming on in. Hextech Ultimatum used. This is a 2v1 situation. Paz still very confident. Going to dodge out the Aatrox damage there. Anima Momo trying to keep Paz locked down. I don't think he's going to be able to do much here. V3 still getting tied up here because their strongest member being Paz. They're not able to pull the trigger onto the Baron themselves. That would have been the ideal opportunity. His bottom lane inhibitor is going to be respawning here relatively soon, so Crest Gaming Act going to have some reprieve for a while at least against this Paz threat. But teleport's still both available. V3 can sort of keep rinsing, repeating this operation here very easily until they force a teleport out from Aatrox. The thing is that if Aatrox leaves, the game's going to be over, likely from the Camille going to be able to blow it down. But Crest Gaming Act finally making the call on these bad back timers. We see Camille inside the base, but this Baron looking like it's going to go over to Crest Gaming Acting. Now they do have a very strong tank line, but Ace is going to completely destroy the Karma. Going to get the knock-up on the Xayah. Ace trying to find an opportunity to go in. Vivid just trying to stall best he can. Yutarimash Mundo doing a lot of work. Karma going to be falling down as well. Ace getting the damage out, taking out some threats here. Hachimecha able to stall long enough. Oh, and now we have Luna, but you just went in on your own. Aatrox working his way in. Paz, though, finally maybe going to be getting caught out here. Does have access to flash, going to be forced to flash. Art on the hunt, and now Paz is dead. Raid boss down. This could be the game for Crest Gaming Act. This is going to be their ideal opportunity. They still have plenty of time on Baron. Nearly every member with it. That is a huge timer on Paz, who had been almost solo carrying this game. Finally caught out. Crest Gaming Act finally getting decisive. They get the bad timers out of V3 and able to pull the trigger. That Mundo now hard to take out without the help of that Camille. Still 30 seconds left. How are they going to react? Aatrox still not pulling the trigger for the teleport. Karma just working their way towards the bottom lane. Crest Gaming Act going to just try and take this game out slowly instead of pulling the trigger to take it out. I think they could have done it, though. Maybe they're still just a little bit too hesitant here. Try and clear it out. They really just want to jump in their gold advantage, I guess. Get these easier objectives. Because this game has been so close, they want to just take it out nice and easy. Vivid going to be on the hunt for the Xayah. It'll be quite the tour of the map here. Karma chasing him down, just trying to make them for a bad base timers, but nothing else happening there. So creeping in 4 minutes into the game, both inhibitors taken down relatively at the same time, about a minute off maybe. So going to have that equalized push in the mid lane. Baron buff still a minute and a half. Over a minute and a half set up. Another Ocean Drake going to get taken here by Crest Gaming Act. And as gold is becoming less and less important in this game as items are or builds are completed for either side. See, only one more item needed for the Talia. Looks like quite a few pieces here and there for a Kiana to get rolling in the end, but Ezreal finished up. Xayah finished up. Support still working away at it. Top laners done as well. Aatrox saving a spot for those control wards so his team can get vision. Same for Silas as of right now, working on a Kindle Gem, maybe a Spirit Visage. Something, maybe increased damage likewise. But builds finishing up here, gold becoming less and less important as this game stretches on another 10 minutes or so. I'm assuming the majority of people will be full build here. Could be a 4K gold lead, but does not matter right now. 30 seconds left on this Baron V3. I'm expecting to try and go ahead and get this fight. Paz trying to find an opportunity to go ahead and get the flank here. Crest Gaming Act going to just muscle their way in. Paz going the long haul away. I think he is now out of vision on Crest Gaming Act. They're going to catch him out on this ward. Luna's out on his own, but I think Paz can go ahead, pull this trigger out onto Luna. Paz on the backside on his own. He does have GA. Going to knock everybody around with the Hextech Ultimatum. No targets have died just yet, but it looks like Zaya is going to be falling down. A lot of damage falling from the side of Crest Gaming Act, but V3 doing what they can. Baby going to be falling likewise as well. That's 3 members dead of V3. Paz is out of here. Crest Gaming Act, and even though they lose their 80 carry, only 1 member dead, and they're going to be able to close this game out on their own. Paz not able to get the kill secure target, and they're looking to get the ace onto ace as well. Finish it out. Crest Gaming Act finally closed this game out. It was a brutal one. I mean, I think they should have won it much earlier on, but they're eventually finally able to close that thing out. Goodness gracious. One bad timer recall. One time Paz just one mistake, I think, moving down the lane with the Baron. Just too infatuated with getting that inhibitor rather than fighting for the Baron. But other than that, phenomenal play by Paz. Unfortunately, they were not able to pick up the win on their side, but I think they're still confident probably in this series. They know that they're going to be pulling a ban off that Camille for the remainder of the series, likely, just because of such a threat that he was. V3 probably going to maybe get Baby off of that Silas, shore up, get a little bit of a better tank line for themselves, or maybe just divert back to that Olaf, because Mundo, it took a long time for Hachimecha to become that unkillable force, but once he did, I mean, you can see him just absorbing so much damage here and just healing up from it so easily. But anyways, going to head into game 3 now, see how these teams adapt for an exciting series. Did not expect this game to be so explosive. Still want to see some improvements in play setup, see some more decisive calls, maybe especially around that Baron pit for these teams. But excited to see where this series goes. Catch you in the next game, guys.